keep on trying. I'm about that life, never quit. I'm about that life, keep on striving. I'm about that life, keep on pressing. I'm about that life, keep on shining. I'm about that life, keep on dreaming. I'm about that life, never stop. I'm about that life. I'm about that life. I'm about that life. You know, they say I'm dreaming. Yes, I'm dreaming. So what? I don't care.
She's about that life.
I'm about that life. It's a dream thing, y'all.
Today on About That Life, I sit down and talk to one who would definitely be described as a multifaceted person. He is a musician, music producer, author, entrepreneur, life coach, pastor, and a prominent leader in his community. He has worked with many great artists in the music industry, such as Major and Andra Day. He has performed on stages such as the Hollywood Bowl and the Newport Jazz Festival. And that's just a small summary of what he's been able to accomplish. He says his priority in life is to get people to understand their purpose. Here is Jonathan DeCuir. All right, John. Thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
Sitting down, talking with me today really means a lot. I want everybody to know how we know each other because it's my favorite part of the show. I've known you since 2014, and that was when I started going to Victory Bible Church. And you were not the head pastor then,
Nope.
but as of 2024, March, you are the head pastor.
Crazy.
And I know, like, it is crazy. It's only been a year. It feels like it's already 2 years, though. How's it going being the head pastor?
Started good, and then of course, because of all of the devastation that we've been experiencing, it's been tough. It's a lot of hurting people, and a lot of things to consider when it comes to rebuilding and people coming back to the neighborhood. A lot of our members live in Alcina, so it's been really tough to kind of figure out and navigate. So it has its ups and downs.
And you've lived in Pasadena
My whole life.
Yeah. So what does Dina Strong mean to you?
Well, Dina is funny. Whenever you ask someone from Pasadena where they're from, even though most of Pasadena and Alcina in particular is considered to be LA County, most people will not claim LA. That's from Pasadena. If you say, where are you from? Most people will make this distinguish like, oh, I'm from Pasadena or from Dina. And the person will go, oh, you from LA? We go, no, we're not from LA. Even though technically the answer is yes, because Dina has his own identity.
Yes,
has its own way of thinking. And so when we say Dina Strong, it just means resilient. We bounce back from everything, and so we are looking forward to bouncing back even from the devastation of the fires.
I love to hear that.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up in Pasadena or California, so I have learned that Los Angeles is huge.
Yes.
And from my family living in Ohio, they have no idea how large Los Angeles County is, and I've had to explain that for so many years. But Pasadena people they have such tremendous pride.
Yes.
And I love that about this area. And also I love to see brown people. Because when I first moved to Azusa in 2014, I didn't see anybody that looked like me until I went to the Rose Bowl. And it was for the 4th of July fireworks. And all these brown people just started coming out. And I almost cried because it had been like 7 months where I didn't see anybody that looked like me. So I have such a love for Pasadena. And I love that you said that.
Absolutely.
But like I said, I've known you, you're my pastor, you're Pastor John to me. I know a lot of people call you PJ, but you're just Pastor John to me. It's really weird for me to just say John, just to let you know. And he also officiated my wedding, so not only is he an important part of my spiritual journey, but he's an important part of my personal journey. And I always have such thankfulness for you for doing that for me.
My pleasure. Mine is my boy. What's up? Shout out to mine.
So, besides being a pastor, you are heavily involved in the music industry as well as the entertainment industry. Talking about music, TV, and film. You are what would be considered multifaceted. How do you label yourself?
I would say a purposepreneur. Is kind of what I would say. I think a lot of people look at maybe some of the stuff that I do as a lot of things. I don't look at it that way. I feel like I'm only doing one thing that just has a whole bunch of parts. So like everything I'm doing is just an expression of what I believe I'm here for, right? And that is basically just to, you know, to proclaim wholeness as God's central theme by encouraging people, while encouraging people to pursue purpose. And if I'm put in any situation, that's what I'm doing. So whether it's music, whether it's preaching, whether it's whatever, it's always connected to that some kind of way.
I like that. It's just part of you doing all these different things. It's just your different gifts. I love to hear that.
Yeah.
What exactly is a music producer? Like, what do you do? Why do you do it in general?
What is a music producer? I would say it's a form of like vision. It's just like painting. You have a blank canvas, and you take something that doesn't exist that you hear. This is the way I describe it. It's something that exists in a different realm that's not in the natural. I always say music is the fastest manifestation of God, because it's something that you hear in your head, which then is produced out loud, right? So it's like something that's in this other realm that nobody can hear, and then you bring it into this space, right? So producing music is being able to hear something in another space and bring it here, right? And using different tools. So then you have the Pro Tools, the Ableton, all the different platforms where you make that happen. So that's music producing. And then the second part of the question was, why do I do it?
Yeah, why do you do it?
Fun fact, when I was a kid, I started playing the piano at 5, but I played because I started practicing because I had so many questions as a child, and I had so many things going on in my mind. I felt like I wanted probably more attention from my dad, who was quite busy. And I think because of all of the things that was going on with me, music kind of brought me into a space, almost like a different world. So I would sit and practice for 6 hours a day. And so music kind of became my oasis. So still to this day, like last night, I was stressed out all day yesterday. And so I just went to the studio and made music.
Wow.
And I got done at like 3 in the morning, and I was happy just because we created something that didn't exist. You know what I mean? And now, people one day hopefully will get a chance to hear what we did last night.
I love that. I really do. That's how I feel about when I write my scripts. It means a lot to me to just go into that space. I love how disciplined you were at 5 years old. I wish I could play the piano. I love anyone who can play an instrument. The only instrument I can actually play is the recorder that I learned in 5th grade. It's the same tune. I don't know any other tune because I've been lacking the discipline. But for you, what does music mean to you?
Language is another way of speaking. And so like whenever I'm playing music, I'm doing the same thing we're doing right now, but just using a different form. It's language. People always call it the universal language, but it literally speaks to people. It's the one thing that everybody understands.
I agree. Yeah. Totally agree with that, because I've seen clips even on Instagram where someone will just be playing in the airport and people will stop and just watch, and especially if it's a song that they remember, they don't even know the composer's name, but they just resonate with that song. So I completely agree. It is a universal language. What is your favorite music genre?
That's a hard one. It's probably gonna shock people, but it's probably R&B. R&B is probably my favorite music genre, just because I don't know. I just like the way it moves. I like soul music because soul music is a revelation of life. I feel like where the person is talking about something that they feel. And the thing about soul music is that it's the way I feel, whether it's true or not. It cannot be true.
Yeah.
But it's just an expression of my feeling about
Right.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's cool. That's why I like it.
Like the song Papa Was a Rolling Stone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I read charts. I don't read music. It's a difference.
Please explain for me.
Okay. So reading music. So their classical players are reading individual notes on a treble and bass clef,
Right.
Or the grand staff, right?
Yeah.
So they're reading every single note. When you read it in jazz music, most of the time it's sometimes a combination of both, but it's the chord chart. Like it'll say C major 7, so I'm reading the chart. I'm reading the chord type as opposed to the individual notes.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So
it does.
I didn't learn how to read charts even until I got to college. So I was already playing fully professionally by ear, so I can hear and play, right? But when I started reading charts, it kind of opened up more opportunity.
Do you think more people in your line of field learn that way more than like actually learning to read music?
Most of us that learn how to play in church, yeah.
Yeah.
If you played in black church, then you learned to play by ear. You wasn't reading music at first because you had to play it on the spot.
Right.
Somebody would just jump out of the audience and start singing, and they expect you to know how to play it right then. You know,
so interesting. I didn't know how to read a little bit from doing a lot of musical theater. And I did take like a sort of musicology course in high school, but I still don't know the difference between like A and B and all that stuff. But I know like, okay, this is a half note. This is a quarter note. Like I know that stuff. I know where I'm supposed to start singing, at least when I look on the different staffs and the different measures and the musical bars. But it's still kind of like I would have to take a whole like college course for that to really resonate with me. What time period would be classified as the greatest music generation?
Harlem Renaissance.
Okay.
And I say that just because my favorite is Duke Ellington.
Yes.
Right? And just because he was just a mastermind. And then I love Billie Holiday.
Thank you for saying that.
And she was just really different. And I think I became even more acquainted because of Andra with her. Andra's last name is actually not Day, but she took Billie Holiday's name. But like,
that's sweet.
But she was just different. I didn't realize how much, Tigress and Tweed and some of the songs that she sang that was so controversial that she went to they kind of put her in jail just because she sang those songs. So I think that was just a really great, like a huge time in history. A lot of talented Black people.
I thought maybe you were gonna say 90s R&B or 80s R&B.
That's my second.
Okay.
90s R&B. That's all of that's my era of music.
I love that era. Yeah. I really do.
That's when R&B was still R&B.
True. I would definitely pick Motown first because I grew up on Motown. I feel like I would just fit right then in that period for a moment of time because that's all my mother really let me listen to for a long time. I felt like I was too old for a lot of the kids that I grew up with because I was listening to Temptations and they were like, who's that? But I definitely love 90s R&B. It's still the best and it's people still love listening to SWV. It'll never die.
It'll never, those songs are forever songs.
Exactly. How did you break into the music industry?
So it's funny. I would say breaking into music industry is still. I don't know if I would say I've broken into the music industry as of yet. This depends on how you define it, right? So I would say my first entry was when I figured out that the first stage of anything is to impact your environment first. So I started to build musical prowess in Pasadena first. And so my measurement was if I can do a concert in Pasadena and I can fill the room and do a high quality of music, then that's the first level, right? Because there's some people that will like not really come to Pasadena per se,
Right.
all the time. So you might see Kurt Franklin in Pasadena maybe once a decade, right? So because of that, whatever group can get to a certain level of music could become that for the city.
Right.
So that was my aim first, you know. The second piece was getting on records. I think my first record was a gospel record, and that was with a gentleman named Kevin LeVar, and that was the first time that I feel like I was able to get on a record that played on the radio, because I produced a song with Harmony Samuels, which is an R&B producer. Right. So that song played big time, and then after that one, I felt like then I did another song with Harmony. Came out a few years ago with Major.
Love Major.
So,
He's the sweetest. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's so sweet.
So I did Baby Will You Love Me with Harmony. So that was Harmony and I and one other in JV. Did that song with them and for Major, and that song played every day on the radio, which was crazy for me to hear. You know, to hear a song that I'm on production on the radio. I was like, man, this is crazy. And then Andrew has put me on several things. So I think I had about 6 or 7 songs on her record. The new one was out this year.
That's amazing. We're speaking of Andra, so we might as well talk about her.
Mm-hmm.
What is it like to collaborate with her and other artists such as her?
Yeah, Andra, in my opinion, probably is one of the sweetest souls. You don't find a lot of artists that's like her, that's as down to earth as her, and very community driven, very much a believer in Christ, very much, you know, all those things, and still able to, you know, do all the things that she's doing. She's a I think she's one letter from the EGOT, and which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
When you think of it, but she, in terms of the funny part, people don't realize is, you know, she never processed herself as an actor at all. And her first time out,
yeah, an Oscar nomination,
and wins. You know, I'm like, this is crazy.
What has been your favorite gig to perform at?
Ooh, I've done so many things with her. We did Central Park in New York. That was pretty crazy.
Oh wow!
It
didn't rain on you like Diana Ross did.
No, it didn't rain. It was so cool. I mean, it was so much fun. I would say that, and probably the Hollywood Bowl.
Okay, so I was about to ask about the Hollywood Bowl. How was it to perform at the Hollywood Bowl?
Hollywood Bowl was bucket list.
It seems like it.
Oh, yeah. You know, my favorite one was the Rhode Island. It was the Newport Jazz Festival.
Oh man.
That's bucket list. Now that was a sea of people. When
I believe it.
When I say so, you're seeing people all the way to the ocean. It just looked like a sea of people.
Oh man.
Now that one was crazy.
In Rhode Island. Wow.
Yeah, Rhode Island.
Oh, that sounds great.
The Newport Jazz Festival. Crazy.
But yeah, Hollywood Bowl.
Bowl. That was surreal. I feel like never thought that I would ever be able to do something like that. Never crossed my mind that I would be playing at the Hollywood Bowl. And that was I think the other crazy part is that Andrea is so like the same person everywhere. She doesn't switch up. So,
not a chameleon.
Yeah. So she doesn't make adjustments on stage. So she'll still be like, everywhere we go, we can be anywhere, it don't matter. She's like, this is my pastor. Like, she's very much like, I'd be like, hey bro, you don't have to actually say you're good. You can just say John. I'm fine with that.
Well, it'd be hard for me. I told you it was hard for me to say John in the beginning of this interview.
So imagine being some of these environments I'm in. So after it's over, they're like, man, you're a pastor? Really? You play like that? Or you know what I mean? So it opens up a lot of questioning, but it's kind of interesting.
Why did you write the book, Your Purpose is the Solution? How to Live with the Bigger Picture in Mind and Transform Your Life?
Well, very simply, I feel like that there are problems in the world, and I think the one thing that people don't realize is uh, birth is a birth is one of God's entryways to solve issues. So when somebody is born, that is a portal, if you will, for God to get an answer to something that's wrong. So if people figure out why they are breathing, then they can solve whatever problem they were sent here to solve.
Oof.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, that made sense. It was heavy. That was very heavy. That's a great answer to why you wrote the book. Wow, my goodness. Why did you become a pastor?
Not my choice. Wasn't in the cards for me. It wasn't something that I desired to do. Transparently, sometimes still not something that it wouldn't be something I would raise my hand for per se. It's a calling, and callings call. That's what they do. I would also say they seize. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So a calling will seize you, and your life now it takes on a whole different direction. You don't really have a lot of control per se, because if you don't do it, you live in the tension of not doing it. So when you do it, your life is way more peaceful, because it's just why you're here, back to purpose, right? So it's like, not kicking against the pricks, like he told Paul, like, why are you fighting against me? Why are you going the opposite direction of the flow? So I would say pastoring is not something that I signed up for. I was originally going to school to be a politician.
Mm.
My major was political science. It wasn't any of this stuff. So.
And where did you go to school? I already know the answer, but
I went to UC Berkeley first, and then I went to APU after that.
Was there a moment where it was like, that is what I'm supposed to do? I'm not going to keep fighting it.
Yeah, that came under when Bishop White got here, because he was the one that brought clarity to all of it. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be doing it for sure.
Shout out to you, Bishop. We love you. Mm. What is it like to juggle your professional pursuits, running your own business, and being a pastor at the same time?
It's interesting. Like, I hear a lot of people saying, "Man, you do so many things. You should be, this, that, and the other." I mean, and sometimes I do get a little tired. But once again, I feel like I'm singular focused with just a whole bunch of tentacles. So, like, everything has its own rhythm, but it's all the same beat. That's kind of how I look at it, right? So it's like, I think people get more stressed watching me do it than me doing it. I mean, think about it. So, like, if I were to go to, so for example, I got a call. So the other day, I got a chance to do Jennifer Hudson with Andrew.
Right.
So that's not stressful. That's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, seems like it'd be
right.
Fun. Yeah.
And the only stress is like, oh man, I gotta play on national television. I hope I don't mess up. Right, the nervous jitters, and then I leave there, and then say I gotta come and preach or go speak at something. That there's pressure there, but for all intents and purposes, my job is pretty amazing for the most part. The hardest part is the pastoring piece because you're carrying people. That's the hardest part. The rest of the stuff, like music, is fun. So that's how I look at it.
Otherwise, why are you doing it if you're not enjoying it?
Yeah, I like
Okay.
it.
What is the misconception about the pastoral life?
Misconception is that we are closer to God, or we are on some type of pedestal or separate from people when we're not different. We're just chosen from the people. So we bleed the same, we feel the same, we go through the same things. But you know, a lot of times people put us on pedestals to their demise because eventually we do something to disappoint you. You know what I mean?
I don't know personally.
But you know, we disappoint people. The ones that's like, man, oh, he's supposed to be or she's supposed to be perfect. That's always a dangerous space. I would say that is a huge misconception.
How is it carrying that weight?
Horrible. That's the part I probably is more stressful than anything because it's like you have to, at a certain level, especially even for us, like at our church now, it's like I can't control people's interpretations and what they think or how they process what I'm saying. You know, and then the church is growing a little bit, and so it's like, you know, not being able to have conversations with everybody and being type of an introvert, and then if you miss somebody, then it's all interpretation,
right?
And you can't keep up with all the interpretation. The more people you have, the more interpretation. So while everybody's going after, oh, we want more people, it's like, yeah, we have more people, but with that comes also more interpretation.
Exactly. What is the most important thing to you in life?
My little boy, little Noah. He's not little no more, but I would say Noah's the most important. I think right now for me, I'm just like, man, I hope I can get him to the space where he can be like a sustainable adult, like be able to take care of himself and the family. That's on the front burner of my mind right
I feel the same way. Where do you hope your dreams will take you?
Not sure. I don't really know. Like it's funny. Like I feel like maybe I have already done so many things outside of. I've already gone beyond what I thought in my mind, in the sense of. I think when I was younger, I always thought, man, I want to play. You know, over here, I want to be able to do this. Every place that I've ever wanted to play, I think I've done.
Wow, that's a blessing.
And it's like still going. Like I mean, and it's like, and I'm like, this is so funny because I thought it would happen when I was younger, but it's like all happened compact in this time period for whatever reason.
You're still young though.
Yeah. Yeah. Fairly, relatively.
All right, we're down to the last question, and it's my favorite one. Do you like yourself?
Good question. Most days. Sometimes no. But most days. I think like I think I talked about it Sunday, when you are reaching to be who you've been called to be, and you know what it takes to be at, and then you make choices not to. Sometimes it becomes difficult, especially if you struggle with codependency. I struggle with that a bit. Or if you struggle with perfectionism, I struggle with that a bit, right? Some of those things can cause you to, some days, question liking yourself. But for the most part, most days, I would say, yeah. But sometimes, I'm like, you know, that's how it's here.
Thank you for being honest.
Yeah.
I thank you for sitting down and talking with me. It really, really does mean a lot. And I appreciate all of you for sitting here and watching this. And I will see you next time on About That Life. Bye.
See you all.